Welcome back, delicious friends. We're back here with the rats that are in war with the Guinea pigs. We will see what happened now with the Rats Republic. A rat in the making. The chief engineer led me to the northern side of the island, squeaking the chicken woods. Squirting the chicken woods. We passed through a number of what can only be termed checkpoints, as fierce-eyed rats shouldered their derringer and saluted the chief engineer. Soon we come upon a small colony, smaller than some of the infestations I had encountered in London flats. Perhaps only 50 rats with fever altogether, working diligently to fortify their side of the island. The first thing I noticed was a brilliant light, beaming out from a stump of chicken wood about 6 feet high. It bathed the whole settlement in a clean blue glow, and was almost too bright to look at. By its light I could see several raised mounds of earth, suggesting shallow tunnels. An efficient fishing operation was set up by the water, an albino rat mending nets while others stabbed sharpened sticks into the waves. Further inland was a barrack, where a sergeant barked drills at a small squadron of fighters. My arrival drew attention, and several rats paused in their work to look at me curiously. "Welcome to Murinia," said the chief engineer, voice warm with pride. "It's not much to look at now, but it will be once we are roasted the cabbies. Take a stroll around while I summon the war council." With that, he vanished into one of the mounds and left me to explore. I visited the rat's barrack. The drill sergeant appeared to be sizing me up. Were the few rats around her really all she had to launch an attack? We were fighting impressive odds. I approached the drill sergeant and went so far as to salute her, which earned me a grunt of satisfaction. The sergeant dismissed her troops and offered me a bit of chickenwood jerky to gnaw on. "There is more of us below ground," she explained, "but not enough. The cabbies are bigger and there is more of them. We are better with weapons, but haven't got the stuff to make them with. Most of us came here as stowaways and brought nothing but food, tools, and the fur of our backs. We can fish, and we nibble the chicken woods, but we can't make guns out of trees. The cabbies came with their own steamer and seem to have endless supplies. We raid them sometimes, but there is so few of us, and we can never hold on to territory gained for long. But that's of no consequence. All we want is to be left in peace to will our republic. And the Ratstar," she added thoughtfully after a moment, "of course, we want that too." I took a closer look at the Ratstar. An excitable-looking rat was peering at it through smoky goggles, switching her whiskers and making notes on what appeared to be real paper. Blue as sapphire, but endlessly more brilliant. "It's not a start, of course, not really, but try explaining that to the others. The chief engineer doesn't want me to work in too hard to convince them, says it's better for morale. But just look at it, look!" She offered me her goggles. I managed to work them over just enough of one of my eyes to see the truth of what she was studying. It was scintillac, but unlike any I'd seen before. Blue as a sapphire, but more brilliant. Something about the clarity of its color was tremendously soothing. The chief science officer tittered with pleasure as he handed her goggles back. Those of us who have been to the cavey side of the island and lived to tell of it say that there is plenty of glow there, plenty of light in the water all around, but nothing like this. We took this from the island center, Mountain Ararat. Only it's not a mountain, of course, and more than this is a star. It's hollow, there's sweet water inside, and coral crawling all up to the walls of it, but nothing that glows, save this. It's ours now, and no one can take it from us." I headed down to the beach. Who ever heard of a rat mending a net? An albino rat smiling up at me from his mending work, looking dainty and a little shy. Chicken boots floats, especially when it's dried out and sealed. So we're able to paddle out a bit and cast our nets. We come up with all sorts of things. Blind fish, crabs, sometimes a chunk of broken tentacle. But the fishing will never be so good without the Ratstar, he beamed. I think it only draws good fish, and keeps the scary ones at bay. I know the chief science officer doesn't believe it, but I do. That light is our livelihood. It's a livelihood. I finished my exploration. The bells of the war council rang. I was summoned. I need to drink water. I have breathed too much for today. Chapter 4. A Vital Enterprise. The chief engineer emerged from underground with a motley assortment of other rats. He introduced them as weapons experts, strategists, and field commanders. So you're going to help us beat the cabbies? He said, a hard edge of his voice. But how exactly? I offer my strategic assistance. We engineer a distraction that the LBs could use to plunder the cabbie ship and turn the tide in their favor. A low risk. I will do that. I succeeded, thank God. A questing beast. I dress up one of my sailors in a mess of shabby clothes smeared with prisoner honey, and instruct him to roll around in the black earth of the island. Soon we had a glorious mud monster to send thrashing through the chicken woods towards the cabbies. The distraction worked perfectly. The cabbies diverted their force towards our makeshift beast, leaving the rats with very little opposition as they plundered the grounded ship. They returned triumphant, as did my sailor, laughing, having led the cabbies a merry chase. Within a few hours, the rats' diligence had resulted in the building of a remarkable cache of weapons with which they successfully routed their enemy. The rats, ever egalitarian, shared their spoils in addition to the promised food and fuel. Hail Mauritania, two houses, alike in dignity, not that is saying much mine. An occurrence. Your Pigment Island mic quality is now 4. Vulnerable. A nation must be strong. If this reaches 0, bad things will happen to Pigment Island. Your Pigment Island civilization quality is now 5. Unexceptional. A nation must will. If it reaches 0, bad thing. Spirit quality is 3. If it reaches 0, bad things. 4 bale of parabola linen. Who plunges the flags from the banks of rivers that flow through sleep? You can now want a scintillac? Coral agreements as if moonlight. It makes marvelous chivalry and terrible expensive tea. And 10 fuel! I don't have that much space in my boat. Chapter 5. A nation is born. The house of Cavi had fallen. Murinia was triumph. All that remains were the celebration and the continuance of our voyage. Oh, now we feasted long into the night. Then I invited one of the Ratus Fever to join us. After all, what ship without few rats? I interceded on behalf of the cabbies. They were crushed, defeated, and I could see their spirit broken without the lights of the Ratstar to guide them. They needed an advocate. We had eaten our fill and our business was concluded. It was time to continue our voyage to see what other wonders and terrors still awaited us. I will invite the Red Fever to join us. Welcome aboard. The chief engineer couldn't leave his colony, but he relayed my request to his people. The albino rat I saw mending nets shyly stepped forward. I'm good at fixing things, he said, earnestly, and I'd like to see more of the world. I waited for him to gather up some effects and say goodbye to his family before accompanying him on board. I have one albino tinkerer. Hand and rat of our work. I interceded on behalf of the cabbies. I think I can do that. I don't know what's going to happen, but I interceded. a grinding concession. I appealed to the chief engineer's moral fortitude and sense of fair play. Perhaps the cabbies suffered the loss of the light from the center of the island. Perhaps they were only trying to get it back, not steal it from the rats. The chief engineer looked troubled at me, at the talk. We only wanted to be left alone, he said. He looked toward the senescal, haphazardly bandaged among the rats of the prisoners. Perhaps further negotiation is possible. As I left, I saw the albino rat timidly offering a young cabby prisoner a piece of fresh fish. Memories of rat making, qualities now 3. You forge peace between the rats and the cabbies. Your pygmy spirit, quality is now 6. Optimistic! Okay. A nation is born. The white dark sea beacon. We have eaten our fill and our business was concluded. It was time to continue our voyage to see what other wonders and terrors await us. Damn it! I need to get rid of something. I'm going to get rid of the fuel. I don't want to get rid of the fuel. God damn it, I don't want to get rid, but these things are so expensive back in London. Goodbye. The end. There. You finish your diary entry and the final dregs of the rats' surprisingly good wine. They line up to salute you as you leave the victory banquet, escorting you to your ship through the foundation of their new republic. You can now this. A port report. Pigment Island. That's all for now. Your hand quality is on. A new nation has been founded. Time pass on. Need most adorable empire. Hail Mauritania. Repair, steer the Ratstar. What? That's evil. I will not do that. Okay, time to go away. This was amazing. Okay, I think that yes, that does it for this episode. I will see you in the next one. Subscribe to the channel. Bye bye. Have a nice day.